I'm Sasha.
And I'm Helia.
And I'm Alan.
What's your market's name?
My dad had actually 3 stores. The last one was Joe's Supermarket.
When did your family first get to the U.S.?
My father came in the early 1930s and ended up in Baltimore, Maryland. Worked probably in restaurant business.
Where in the U.S. did your family first arrive?
I think everybody arrived in probably in San Francisco, and then from there they could go wherever part of the country.
Why did your family go to Tucson?
Well, when my dad was in Baltimore, I'm sure that a lot of Asians are back east, and so some relatives, they all came from the same village in southern China, Guangzhou province, and so they probably told him, come west because there's opportunity where it's not so crowded in other cities.
Was it your family's intention to start a market?
No, probably worked for somebody when he came to Tucson, but I think most Asians wanted to work for themselves, because if you work for somebody, you would never make a lot of money.
Was your family the one that originally started the market?
I'm sure my dad started a store, and then they help each other. There was only so many Asians in Arizona or Tucson or Phoenix. They kind of help each other, and some are related because that's how they got here. They would encourage others to come.
When did you guys open the market?
I wouldn't remember. I was probably a baby. So our first store was called Joe Wee's Market on Main Street near Davis School downtown. There's a picture of it right there. And probably I was like 2 or 3 years old maybe when that store opened.
What kind of market were they?
Well, that's a grocery store. You have to understand, back in those days, the grocery stores were all small. They were neighborhood stores. So you had everything. You carried meat, vegetables, canned goods. Of course, the variety is a lot bigger today than what it was back then.
Is your market's name after like one of your parents' names, or?
Yeah, my father's was. He came in on his paper as known as Joe Wee Lu. Actually, when he came, he was under the name Joe Wee, not Lu. We changed our name when I was my last year in high school. Remember, a lot of people came on different paper names to get here.
Did you have any siblings?
Yeah, as you can see, I'm the youngest, and then 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and so it's like, right, just like the pictures. Stephen, Victoria, Edwin, Irene, Alan. I'm the last one, youngest.
How did your siblings help out in the market?
Everybody worked, because a lot of us lived, most stores that were open in wherever it was in this country lived behind the store. I think we didn't live behind that store. We were at a house on Stone Avenue, not far, maybe half a mile from that store. But I wouldn't remember because I was a baby, so.
Did you celebrate any Chinese holidays?
Yeah, our parents still stuck to, as I grew up, we always celebrate Chinese New Year's, but we probably celebrate more American stuff like Christmas, Easter, things like that.
What type of customers did you get?
The customers are all neighborhood. As you can see, a store like that, you can't drive up to it. Remember, in the old days, everybody lived close by each other. You didn't have like an acre. Houses were 1 story high, 1-car garages, even some no garages, and everything was small, probably less than 1,000 square feet house.
Were there any problems with the language barrier?
Not really. Of course, I grew up in America, so I spoke English. I didn't learn Chinese too well because I would understand my parents, but they never made me talk back to them in Chinese, so I kind of lost it. But there was no language barrier because English was spoken. And of course, where our stores were, a lot of Hispanics spoke Mexican and Spanish. And the problem is that as you live in those neighborhoods, you actually start to learn a lot of their language, and you can speak to them pretty plainly. You couldn't be a big conversation, but you know what they were asking for, what products.
Did you have any like trouble or competition with other stores or
No, you have to realize, if you remember our boards at the front here, shows how many stores were in the 1940s, in the 1950s, and you can see, wow, 80 stores, 100 stores. And sometimes in a corner of a neighborhood, there were 4 stores, one in every corner. So the competition was there, but people chose who they liked, or they just went to different stores if they didn't have that product. So everybody was in business.
When, if you did, take control of the market?
I never took control. I just helped my parents run the store. All of us did. You know, the oldest brother, he did the chores, everyone down the line. But I guess when we were all younger, I didn't go to work at the store till probably when I was in maybe 6th grade or 7th grade. I was too young to do anything.
How did the store evolve over time?
Okay, well, the store on Main Street, my dad wanted to have a bigger store, and then, you know, more business and so on. So he took over a store called, it's not on this picture, but it was temporary. It's called Saling Center Store. It's in the South Side. He was there for like half a year. Then he opened a store called Joe's Supermarket on South 12th and Irvington, way in the South Side. People would move to other areas where there was more opportunity, more business. You don't want to be downtown because there were already too many stores. So that's where we opened the store, and I think it was opened in 1955. And we've had it since probably the year 2000 or in 1995 or something like that, before we sold it.
What are you and your siblings doing now?
My oldest brother is still alive. He actually worked at the mayor's office as an accountant auditor. Then he worked for motor vehicle division. He's retired, of course. My next sister, Victoria, she was a beautician, and her husband worked he was a computer expert at the very beginning of computers, and they live in Columbia, Maryland. My brother in the middle, Eddie, he became a dentist, got married and lived in Dallas, Texas. He's the first to pass away, unfortunately. The next was my sister, Irene. She married a captain in the Air Force. He was here in Tucson with the Titan II missiles silos. There was 18 silos, and they were underground. Him and another Air Force guy, 2 people were in there. They would turn the keys if they had to, and they would shoot the missile, Titan II missile, to Russia or wherever who was attacking us. He married her. They moved back to Virginia, and he worked for the Pentagon as a civilian. And she was a school teacher, actually. And, she ended up working for the welfare department in Virginia, and now retired, of course. And then that's me. I became a pharmacist, and I'm still working, actually.
What would you want the future generation to know about your family or Chinese culture?
Well, the most important part, parents always emphasize family. And so we always ate together. That was before there were a lot of restaurants. None of us had cars. You know, when you bought a car back then, you couldn't buy it on credit. You paid cash. Nobody could buy it on credit. Never heard of it. So if you had bought a car, and then if you did, I would say it would sound like expensive, but it was, because you had to pay cash, you know. Anyway, we stuck together a lot. But the store kept the family together. But the thing was that as each one kind of graduated to college, the next one took over the next position. I'm the last one, so when everybody moved up, I ended up doing everything at the store. I was a butcher, do the produce cans, a cashier, delivering, picking up the food. So there was nobody behind me to do anything. I ended up with everything.
Thank you for coming here and helping us spread Chinese culture and history to others.
Thank you.